So, welcome to today's online day of meditation, and I'm coming to you from Winjabul Waibal country on the Bundjalung Nation, in the Bundjalung Nation and Northern Rivers, Lismore, in other words, Lismore, Northern New South Wales. And on these days, I usually follow the path of serenity and insight. In other words, serenity first and then insight. However, as you know, I've been experiencing some pain in the last month now, or the last 5 or 6 weeks, and it's been a very valuable way of waking up to reality, the way things actually are. And but I noticed in my practice I have to revert to satipatthana, basic mindfulness. I mean, mindfulness is the key practice for me at the moment. I'm finding I can't sit very well. I can't sit still very well. I can lie down. But so today's meditation, I'll be inviting you to the usual meditations insofar as we have something about the four heart qualities: warm, benevolence, compassion, appreciative joy, or equanimity. And also today's practice, I'm really not sure. Probably I'll invite you to do a body scan and then be mindful of whatever Vedana you're having. Vedana refers to the hedonic tone of experience, the feeling tones of experience, whether they're pleasant, unpleasant, or neither. And there's a lot of teachings on working with illness and pain by attending to dukkha vedana. So I'll invite you to do a body scan, probably, and then open up your senses to all senses, not just the body. And at some point in time, I'll invite you to scan for whatever Vedana or body, feeling tone you have. And if you're suffering from some pain, like I am, you'll probably attend to the painful sensations and note them as, the painful Vedana, the painful experience, and note it as unpleasant. So a long time ago, I went the path of pain. I practiced Vipassana with Sayadaws in Burma. I practiced there with them, and also I practiced here in Australia with them. And also, I guess my time in Insight Meditation Society in Barre, Massachusetts, in the States, was also along those lines of practicing insight. And there was something that one of the teachers used to say to me when I'd go into a report to him, and we'd go on a daily report to him. He'd say, "Report your experience, Yogi. Report your experience." And sometimes I'd say various things, and then I'd say, "I'm experiencing pain, Sayadaw." "Oh, good, good," he would say. "Pain is the key to the door of Nibbana." And I must admit, when I went to Burma, I sat there for 6 weeks, and most of the time I had pain. So that was my object of attention, and I was quite productive there. I could sit and notice the pain. It got me very concentrated, and I was kind of able to separate the sensations, the physical sensations, from the feeling tone of it. I was able to sort of see that distinction, only for moments, but it was very liberating. And when you hear the teachings of the Buddha, Nalaya has written a book about death and illness, and there's sutta after sutta about where the Buddha visits someone who's suffering, and he's saying, "Are you aware of dukkha vedana?" Dukkha, of course, means unsatisfactoriness or suffering, or this kind of unreliability about life. Are you experiencing dukkha vedana? Yes, I am dukkha vedana. Are you able to see it as not self, not you, and not who you are. It is anatta. Yes, I can see it's impermanent, and I can see it's anatta. And in that way, these practitioners, most of them were on the path to dying, on their dying beds, but they're experiencing a lot of pain. They were able to wake up. So, so today's meditations, I'll invite you to some form of metta, or some form of loving kindness or compassion or appreciative joy and equanimity in the beginning. But if you're like me, I've found that when I've tried to do those practices, my mind has been focused on my pain. So what I needed to do was actually direct those qualities to the pain, like a warm, soft friendliness to the pain, or compassion to the pain. And it really helps. It really softens it up. So this morning I tend to get up very early in the morning, and I come and lie on my lounge at the back here. And this morning I laid for 2 separate hours. I decided I don't just lay there for 2 hours. I get up and move, because stillness sitting still has been one of the factors in causing a pain in my neck. So I noticed that at first I couldn't cultivate metta, or couldn't cultivate one of these qualities, and then I felt the pain, and then I managed to have warm feelings towards the pain, because I was listening to something the other day about pain, and pain is a protector. It's a protector. It's how we know something's not going right, and it's there to tell us something. It's protecting us. So if we can have that attitude, I'm endeavoring to have that attitude that my pain is protecting me from something. It's giving me a lesson in something. It's telling me something. So I can be grateful for it. I can be kind to it, and I can be compassionate to it. It needs compassion. So when we do the loving kindness aspect, you may have nothing happening, but when we do the body scan, you may have some pleasant feelings or unpleasant feelings. I'm not sure. When I'm feeling tone, that is. Whatever you have, bring openness and kindness to it. And then if you're having pleasure, nourish it. Because that's the way we lead into that, the jhana, like the jhanas. I'm not pretending you may experience jhanas today, like the way they're defined in the Visuddhimagga anyway. But if we have pleasure from meditation, I call that spiritual pleasure or unworldly pleasure, it's a beginning to get very, very concentrated, and it's a beginning to have more the experiences of samadhi. So if you're having a pleasant feeling, you nourish it. If you're having an unpleasant feeling, you bring kindness to it. So I think they'll be the, I don't know if I'll merge them into one or have them as 2 separate meditations. I'll see how I go. So as usual, the day's divided up into, we'll have maybe 2 guided meditations this morning, or 1, I'm not sure. The rest of this morning would be up until 20 to 11 Australian Eastern Standard Time will be maybe a silent meditation. And then we'll have a break at 20 to 11. And then we'll have a break for a cup of tea, or if you need to go to the loo or something like that. Then at 11 o'clock, I'll provide a Dhamma talk. And the Dhamma talk is entitled Understanding Dukkha and Paths to Happiness. So I want to talk about the possibility to be happy and actually wake up despite dukkha, and the different types of dukkha. And then the afternoon, of course, we might have discussion after the Dhamma talk, or we have more silent meditation. And then at 12:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, we'll break for lunch, and then we will come back at 1:30, where we'll have an hour of silent sitting, walking, lying, or whatever you like to do in meditation. And I'll ring a bell halfway through that, so if you want to change postures, you can change postures. And then at 2:30 we have Dhamma discussion, where we just check out the day, have a reflection on the day, and come into the moment. So thanks very much. I'm just going to turn the recording off now, and we'll begin.